Today, I'm going to be doing something slightly different. I'm going to be recording for YouTube, and you'll also be hearing this on my podcast. Now, I generally would do the two very separate, but I was sharing with clients earlier in the week around the fact that I like to share with people what I do and how I do things. So often come and see that as well, because I always say, show, don't tell. And I was talking around how we can repurpose things. And I said that when you get things down to a T and you get systems in place and you get automation in place and you know what you're doing, it becomes quicker. It's like learning to ride that bike. So again, there's no better example than me coming on and going and sharing that I'm doing this for YouTube and I'm doing it as a podcast. Now, if I had a massive Stephen Bartlett crew behind me that would help me edit, cut it, make it theatrical, I would be able to do amazing things with this and just do it once. It does become a bit more challenging sometimes when you may be solo or you're starting out in your business or you're growing and you're wanting to do all the things and you're not really sure what's doing when, or you feel like it just takes you forever to get started. So I also like to keep it simple. That's really, really important. And ultimately, lots of people worry about it looking professional and perfect and ready to go. And as much as I believe in getting things great and of good quality, I also know that sometimes quantity creates quality. You have to put out a sheer volume of things to know what works and doesn't work to get to a quality. And also, there is that element of done is better than perfect. The reality is, so many people put things off and never get started. So I always want to be a lead and a role model in what I'm doing and just saying, just do that thing. So today's episode is one that I'll be sharing on my podcast if you're listening in, but you'll also be able to see me visually sharing it on YouTube as well, and with slides. I don't offer a lot of slides because I'm trying to also get better myself on working on how can I just come on and talk about what I do without loads of visuals. Visuals are engaging and keep attention, and that's important. But we don't need bulletproof bullet point after bullet point after bullet point. We will lose people's attention. So again, it's about trying different things and working with it to see what lands well. So, what we're going to talk today is around 4 messages that you must have in your messaging to be clear, to be of resonance, be relatable to your audience so they get what you do and see as you the authority, the person that can help them solve their biggest problem right now with what you do. So forget about the chasing hacks. We're going to work out these 4 core messages that if you don't get into place, it will feel like you're firefighting, that it's feast or famine and nothing's really working in your content. And the reason your content is working is because of these 4 core messages. So first of all, most of you entrepreneurs will be stuck because you feel you're posting daily but not converting. You are chasing trends. You're not quite sure what to do, what's working. So you're kind of mirroring, let's say, modeling, or at worst, you're copying somebody else, crossing your fingers and hoping that it's going to work for you because it worked for them and they got millions of likes. One, it's not about likes, it's about genuine engagement, it's about great conversations, it's about building that relationship. But what it is telling you is your core messaging is weak. So that's a reality. That's where we're at. That's a starting point. Let's work on changing that. This is the first core message I really want you to think about, is how you position what you do and who you help. My biggest bugbear is that with messaging, people don't think they've got a messaging problem. They think it's a marketing problem or it's a sales problem. Now, the system that I help people on in a framework of messaging would invite you to think around, but if you haven't got your messaging right and you don't know who you're speaking to, how do you create a really good offer for somebody? You have to know who you're speaking to as your ideal client to start with. Who is that avatar? Once you've got that offer, you can then market it. But that marketing will be based on the individual, their symptoms of the problems, the solution that they want, what it is you're helping them on. You're going to have to really know their behavior on things, their identity. Once we've got that marketing right, then we can get the selling right. But we can't make sales until we've got the marketing right because it won't get in front of people. So visibility wise, we need to be consistent. We need to be of congruence. We need to be aligned. We need to be sharing things over and over, which is why sometimes you may come on and think, well, she's sharing the same thing again. But repetition is the mother of learning. And you've got to get better at positioning something over and over for people to hear, to be able to trust you. Because again, what we're seeing is on content platforms, people are not seeing much content. The reach you're probably getting is about, if lucky, 10% of your audience following right now. So again, we want to be consistent so that when you pop up with your branding and with your messaging, people remember you. And again, you become top of mind. That's so important. So the first one here is about being really, really clear on what you do and who you help. So you can maybe put it into under 8 words. Sometimes when I've heard this from very good mentors myself, it's easier said than done. And that can even keep people stuck just in, well, I can't get it under 8 words. So you have to work and evolve. And that's a lot of great messaging. That's how it gets to there, is you have to go and test different things. So when I work with clients, I'll often get them to a point where we'll have certain marketing hooks. We'll look at tagline in essence, or what it is they're going to pitch out there, or when they're speaking, what they say they do. And then we will go and test it with their audience. Exactly the same as if you were running ads. You will get a couple of messages and you'll say which one connects or resonates most with you, and you run with the one that does. And I've heard people like Stephen Bartlett talk about this before, that when he's created book titles, Alex Hormozy has as well, in terms of graphics and colors, they will test which ones work and they'll just run with the vast majority. So no one has this nailed, no one has it sorted. This is part of the process. But a lot of people feel it's failing because they don't get a result, or they don't get an impact, or they don't get response. And in essence, that's your invitation to just go again or try harder. And like sometimes we do have to try hard, and we have to see that what we're putting out there isn't connecting. How do we get it to connect? So if people don't get what you do in under 5 seconds, they're scrolling past. Clarity is king. It's so important in content for you to get clients. So not only if you're watching in here, will you see a QR code, but you'll see my Instagram feed. It's clean, it's clear, it's targeted and intentional. It's helping people on social proof. I'm sharing client journeys so they build trust with me, see that I'm working with people. And I always say show, don't tell. We've got connection. So there's content I'm putting out there that connects my audience with things I care about, my values in life. And there's also social proof out here and content around value. So I'm not just sharing people, go and do this. I'm talking about the how. Here's how I did X. Here's how I started my business. Here's how you should. Here's what's working for me in 2025 around messaging, around marketing, around sales. So share this, because right now we are inundated with information all the time. We have ChatGPT to use all the time as well. What we are struggling with is accountability and getting it done, the implementation side. So that is what you have to be able to help your clients with, is do that thing to get the result and move forward. So in the core message one, we really want to identify what you do and who you help with clarity. And I'm going to finally leave it on this. If you want to know any more about this, come and ask me, share what you've got if you've got a few ideas, and let's get closer to the result, or at least to a point where I can say, now go and test that with your audience. I won't go out anymore and say things like, I work, I help. So if I went to a networking event or I'm speaking, that's not what I would do. I will say things like, people come to me when they're struggling to cut through the noise, when they feel that their messaging is unrelatable and it's not getting resonance with their audience. And they want to be known for what they do and build authority and build trust. So clients come to them and ask, how can I work with you? By positioning my message in that way of what I do and how I do it and who I help, so I'll say entrepreneurs, coaches, small online business owners, I will call them out in my content, depending on, again, sometimes the platform or where I'm at. If I'm at a event for coaches, I'm going to say, coaches come to me when. I'm not going to say entrepreneurs. I'm going to be more targeted than that. And this is really important to think around. How are you targeting your audience right now, the messaging and positioning of what you're putting out? We need to be really, really clear and compelling. So think around, what would your stance be? If you say people come to me when, people come to me, people know me for, who are the people and what do they know you for? Message 2 is all around your story and why it matters. People buy from people. We all have heard this, so we need to really believe it. Your story builds trust before you can sell anything. So people will often go people because they see themselves in them. So I would look at my mentors and there's certain things that would draw me to them, whether it's been a lifestyle choice around, I had a mentor who traveled a lot and liked nice holidays, experiences. That was appealing to me as a lifestyle piece. I've had mentors that have huge rooms filled with people, and I have a vision of having my mastermind filled with a huge room of people, clients that are getting incredible results. So I choose to work with them. People, all of my mentors, all care about health. That's really important as value to me. So share your story about what matters to you, because it will also matter to them. I will share things around my corporate journey into where I am now, and how challenging that was. And I'll find I attract a lot of people who are either in corporate and want to leave, or have come out of corporate and are wanting to build their own businesses. And because I'm a few steps ahead of them, They feel heard, they feel seen, they feel valued, they think that I get it, and I'm very much do. So again, your story really matters. If you have kids, if you don't have kids, I don't have kids, but I talk about my family a lot because family is a strong value. And I'll talk about how important that is in my why of why I do what I do. So I want you to think around why your story matters to your client. And one of the best ways you can do this, and was a thing that I did a few years back when I was wanting to speak on stage, is I went and worked for a speaking mentor. And they got me to write down all of my story from a certain point. And I picked around 18 years old when I was just kind of in university. And I just started employment as a Saturday kid. And one of the things I realized from doing like the highs and the lows of my journey up to now was I was able to draw out what things were relevant to my audience. Where would we be able to build a story together there? There were certain things I didn't want to share, and it helped me to frame that as well. But it's a great way, it's quite a cathartic way to look at where you were and where you are now and that gap, and draw out the key things that will be relevant to your audience to share. So have a little think about how your story matters as your core message. What makes you different? This is my third messaging area that I really want you to get close to, your unique edge. So I've already touched and spoken a bit about your values and what you care about. This is the part, this is the kind of the kill shot moment you want. Blending is in business is going to be detrimental to your growth and your progress. Your personality and values are your competitive edge. I like having fun. I like being around people that have fun. I want people to see that. I want people to be around me and feel there's a great, genuine energy and authenticity to how I do what I do. And they want to be around me. We want to be around people that are doing good in the world, that are making a bigger impact, because not everybody is always just solely money driven. Like, I would truly believe a deeper why and a meaningful why in life to why we do what we do has to be more than just the money. Like, money will make us happier. People that say that, like, it's not true, because it can also bring so much stress. What money does do with the happiness part is it brings us choices. And that's a huge thing to have. And that's why so many people are driven towards having their own business and being an entrepreneur. So one you'll see here is, if you're looking at it on YouTube, and then if not, it's essentially a picture of myself and my fiance in the gym. And the hook is, a billionaire once told me this is the most important decision to make in business. And then I shared around the fact that having someone by my side, getting married to someone, having family around me is so important as a business owner, because it keeps me focused. I feel loved. I feel I have people to go to. There's people that believe in you, great environment around you. So I'm able to share things. Your competitive edge will make you different. And this leads on to messaging 4, is how you work. How do you do what you do? And I think this is completely underplayed and undervalued in business. Your style and personality. This is where it really draws to light, more than the values, but your personality, about your attributes, how you are, what you like, what you don't like. Share those things. We don't want to be for everybody. You know, that whole marketing cliche of, I guess, like, you attract what you are as well, but you don't want to be for everybody. If you're one for everyone, you're one to no one. You want to be for the right people. Therefore, you want to attract the right people, and you want to naturally repel other people that aren't going to be interested in what you do. So the process of how you do what you do, your communication style, is really important. Clients don't just buy results. It's a tangible feeling that they have to feel, that emotion will get them to take that action. And that's so important. That's the activator that we want to look for in our clients. And that's why, back to the point around messaging, sales and marketing, we have to do the work on our clients first, because, as you will know, we change all the time. Yet why shouldn't our client change? We are still talking to them the same way. Messaging evolves. And this is why it's so important to get close to your messaging, because your clients are changing and your messaging will have to change too. My messaging for one-to-one is very different to my messaging for my mastermind. It's very different to the messaging that I'm putting out for an event right now. So really be clear on your style. I'm a direct communicator. I'm known for that. I'm known to be no BS, but I'm also known to be compassionate, supportive, empathetic. So really put out the attributes, your personality, and how great you are, because this will attract people. About these 4 messages, your marketing is just noise. So you need to really focus on them, so people stop the scroll and come to you and ask, how can I work with you? If you want to know more about how you can work with me, I have an event coming up at the end of November. It is called Fix Your Messaging and Sell More. The aim of the game is to help you get really clear on your messaging. Not only that, I'll be joined by a couple of incredible speakers. One at the moment being Sam, who will help you on your finances. She's part of my mastermind. She helps people to get more profit from their offers, which is what we want once they have nailed their messaging. So not only am I going to help you on the messaging, I've got you for the next few steps as well. So you actually start making money in your business. We also have Jenna Farmer coming, who is incredible and everything perfect that you need to know around PR. Often I work with clients who are working with somebody in PR and they tell me that they're not getting the leads to generate into income. Jenna is going to help you on that, because what we know, as she's helped me, is that the messaging we put out, whether it's written form or it's a spoken form on socials and across our business, is not the same as what we need to communicate when it comes to PR. She is the expert in that, and she's going to help you to communicate your messaging out in PR if that's what you want to do. The tickets are £49. They are early bird till the end of October. So make sure you get one. All you need to do is send me the word event. You can do that on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or you can comment onto here on YouTube. You can also reach out and say, I heard your podcast, and we can have a conversation. Often I think people are too resistant or they put things off and they don't just reach out and say hello. And I just want to meet you where you're at. So if you've got something on your mind or you want to have my eyes over your messaging, then send me a message and let's have a conversation. And I will see you on the next YouTube, or you will hear me on the next podcast episode that you listen to.